Welcome to this new how-to. In this how-to, we're going to look at how you can program a flight using Little Navmap. And you might think, hey, you already showed that. That's correct. I already showed you, but I'm going to show you a different method for planning longer flights. Because the previous one was a kind of a short flight, which was easy because we could add navigation aids, I would say pretty easy, right? Not too much. But if you want to make a longer flight, that could be pretty challenging. So our departure airport is Rotterdam the Hague Airport, right? So if we zoom into the airport information, which is over here, we can see that the wind prefers runway 06. Okay, so that will be our departure runway. So let's go to the airport in this case and then say right click. Then in some cases you need to click a few times. And then we're going to select this option because this option, the select runway and use Rotterdam, as departure allows us to directly select the runway. It shows the heading, the surface, as well as the facilities. And here you can see the length of the extended runway center line is 3 nautical miles. Now, if I press OK, you can see that the arrow which is drawn is 3 nautical miles in the same direction as the runway, right? So pretty cool, all nice. Now, the second thing, of course, what we want to do is find the procedure, right? We want to find the procedure for this specific runway. Because we want to fly in pattern. So what we can do is we can say, hey, show the departure procedures for Rotterdam the Hague Airport. And then in the right side of the screen, the search one, it shows us all the standard instrumental departures. That's where SID stands for. Now, if I select this option, I can filter it down to runway 06 because that's our departure runway. We can right click this option and then say preview all the procedures. And then I can see all the procedures over here, and you can see some of them go to different directions, right? Some of them go first to the north and then continue to the north. Some go to the north and then go to the east, and some of them go directly to the east, some to the west, and some to the west and then to the north. So in this case, I want to use this nice one, which ends at the navigation aid COA, right? And this is how you can read these items, right? So you can look in this case at the SID and then look from, okay, this runway 06. Well, the last one is COA, right? So that's this one. So the identification of the SID is COA 2A. Now, if I want to add it to my flight plan, I simply say insert SID 06 COA 2A into the flight plan, and then it has been added. Don't forget to, I would say, switch off the preview all procedures because else you will still have a lot of options. And in my case, I did it add it to the flight plan. Oh, I did it. I said I want to add the first one, but for some reason I didn't. Did I do it? Did I? Yeah, it's added it. Sorry, my mistake. I was looking incorrectly. So what you can see now is that if you look at the map, it has now drawn this line also, which is the standard instrumental departure from Rotterdam the Hague Airport to COA, which is, let's say, close to the border of Belgium. Maybe it's even in Belgium. Yeah, it's just in Belgium, right? It's near Knokke-Heist. So that's cool. Now, if we zoom out, we can go to Spain, right? If we go to Spain, we can see a lot of airports there. And if we zoom into Madrid, we can see the airport Barajas, LEMD, which is the airport which you want to go to. And if we look at the map, we can see that it has a few runways, 14R, 14L, 18L, and 18R, and 36L, 36R, and 32L and R. And we first want to figure out, okay, hey, what's the runway which we need to use? So we're going to select the airport and then go again to the bottom left. And if you're lucky, and if you select it, of course, correct, which I didn't do, then you will be able to see the airport information. And this is the VOR beacon. And in some cases, it could be challenging because the VOR beacon is pretty close to the airport itself. So let's see. No. Airport. Always a challenge selecting the correct airport, right? And if you're having challenges also like me, then one tip which you can do is you can switch off certain options, right? So in my case, hey, I don't want to show the VOR beacon. I only want to see the airport. And now you can see it's easier selectable. So I'm going to right click and then say, okay, hey, show the airport information. And then now if I go to the left side, I can see the airport. And also I can see which runways are, let's say, in use and can be used based on the weather information. In most cases, in this case, of course, it doesn't show it. But normally you would see below the weather section, you would see the runways which you can use. In this case, I can also check the runways which are over here, which is nice, right? Gives me a lot of information about runways themselves. But since we're coming from the north, I think it makes most sense if we either use 18 Lima or 18 Romeo or the 14 ones. But for now, I will select runway 18 Romeo. So I'm going to say, hey, right click the runway and right click the airport because I'm going to do it exactly the same way as Rotterdam the Hague Airport. I'm going to say select runway and use Barajas as the destination. And in this case, you can see that there's a little bit more information. This also helps me to see which facilities are there, right? So lighted, but also ILS is here, which is good. So in this case, we're going to select ILS 18 Lima or runway 18 Lima. You can change the offset angle as well as the start of the final to runway threshold. It's 3 nautical miles. Altitude above the runway at start of final. That's all fine. And now I can click OK, or I can click the option show arrival and approach procedures. For now, I will select OK, which makes sure that it will add, in this case, runway 18 to the flight plan. And you can here see the start of the final, which is 3000. And then it goes back to a lower altitude. Now, of course, we also want to add a procedure, right? So let's see. Oh, don't click. Let's see which ones are available. So I'm gonna right click on it. And based on that, you normally would have an option to say, okay, hey, show me the information here from the runway. In this case, I'm going to do it a little bit different because I can also say right click on the flight plan itself and say show arrival and procedures for Barajas or Barajas. You can also press Ctrl Shift Enter or Ctrl Shift R from Romeo, but I'm not going to do it for now. So I want to know all the arrivals and approaches, but only of course for that runway which we selected. Now I can do the same trick again. I can right click it and then say preview all the procedures, which makes it, let's say, a little bit easier to select from. You can see already a yellow line is drawn from the original airport, which was 707 nautical miles from here. So it would make sense if we connect to this one, right? Which is the Star Bane 3B. So that's the one we selected. So we're going to right click it and I say insert into the flight plan. Now what you will see is that the left arrow will now directly connect to this one, but we're not there yet, right? Because we also need to select the, let's say, approach or arrival. Sorry. No, approach. And the approach is in this case ILS, right? So we're going to switch to ILS approach. And then we're going to select the line which we think makes most sense. In this case, we could select this one. And you can see the line already drawn here. You could also select the other one, which is only different from the last angle. In this case, I'm gonna select the top one and then say insert into the flight plan. And directly after you did that, you can see it change again where it made the change and now selected the approach. Also, you can see that the approach is there, right? So we've got the SID, we've got the star, we've got the approach, and then we've got also the ones if we missed for some reason or let's say a landing, then it also gives us that information. Now, if I would zoom out, and let me do that a little bit like this, you can see that there's, let's say, one straight line going from Koa to, let's say, the start of our approach, right? Or of star, sorry, arrival route. So if I zoom into the left part again, I can see Koa, which is last one. Then it directly starts with star, which does not make any sense. Now, how to fix that? Well, the first thing which you need to do is make sure that your flight plan is set to IFR, because we're going to fly IFR. And then if you select flight plan over here, you can select the option flight plan calculation. If you do that, a new window will pop up. That's where you can define your cruise altitude, in this case 38,000 feet. You can say calculate from departure to destination, right? You can also select calculate for the selection in the flight plan table. That works, for example, if you want to only calculate a part of your flight plan. You can make some other adjustments if you want. You can select the airways, for example, high and low airways. And here you can select if you prefer to use airways or to, I would say, prefer direct routes or direct navigation routes. In my case, I will leave it into both, right? Because I think it's fine. And then you press the option calculate. Now, as soon as you press calculate, you can see that now the map has completely changed, right? So it has made some modifications. And if we would go to our flight plan, you can see that it now has added multiple navigation aids, but also several airways with the altitude restrictions in place, and everything is done for you. So you can say close. And then you've got your complete flight plan from, in this case, Rotterdam, the Hague Airport in the Netherlands to Barajas, LEMD in Madrid, Spain. And that's, I would say, really cool, right? So this is another way to program your flight. The other things are still the same, right? So as already shown in previous flights, make sure that if you click the export options, that all three of them are selected to ensure that you're exporting the approaches, the SID and star, and the airways. And then press the option export flight plan as a Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 plan. Once you've done that, you can load it up in Flight Simulator and then you can enjoy the fun. Tip, leave Little Navmap open because then you can also enjoy the flight tracking using Little Navmap, which is a really cool feature. And keep an eye on my channel because I will post a new video, I would say in the coming days, about how you can use a second screen to monitor your flight by opening Little Navmap on another machine and then connecting it to the machine which contains your flight simulator. Here ends this video where we planned an IFR flight using another option, using the calculate option, which is also part of Little Navmap. I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, then ensure that you press the like button and of course subscribe to my channel to stay up to date about new videos I'm posting. And thanks for watching again, and I wish you happy flying and enjoy Flight Simulator.